Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and second look at the Xfanic 13-in-1 USB 4 docking station. Now, when this was first shipped to me for review by the manufacturer, it was a pre-production model for a Kickstarter campaign. Today, we're finally going to get a look at the retail finished product. I'll include a link in the description for those of you interested in picking one up. I believe it retails currently for around $339 US. And what makes this unique is that, yes, it is a USB 4 docking station. It has the capability of outputting two 4K 60 Hz streams as well as an 8K 60 Hz stream. And then if you need 4K 120, that is a possibility as well. Above and beyond that, it also has the ability to expand its storage because there is a slot on board for an NVMe drive. So it essentially supports 4 different profiles, and really it's a matter of what you are looking to install in it. And, you know, the previous docking station that was sent to me could not handle an 8 terabyte drive. I'll be very curious to see whether or not this one can. Now, there is a 13-in-1 as well as a 14-in-1. I recommend going with the 13-in-1 because, again, it has more rich output when it comes to that 4K 120 as well as 8K 60. You're not going to find the 8K output in the other dock. So here it is out of the packaging. It looks just like the previous model that I covered here on the channel, and I'll go through the I/O in a second. It also comes bundled, of course, with a not power brick, but you will need to connect this to a power source. For those of you that were wondering, this is not, you know, a standalone product that can operate without a power source or piggybacking off of your laptop or desktop of choice. So, with retail packaging out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at everything we get here. So, here is the wall wart. I'm not sure exactly how long this cable is. And we've got a plate, of course, for your region, something that should be different depending on your power frequency. And then we have a USB 4 cable that they've included. You're going to want to use that. One of the beautiful parts about having a USB 4 dock like this is that compatibility is no longer an issue. So Thunderbolt has been great, and you know, I use it to this day, but to have something like this that could be used with any machine rather than only Thunderbolt capable is really, really convenient and pretty much a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So again, whether you have Thunderbolt 3 connectivity or Thunderbolt 4 connectivity, it will not matter when it comes to using this. This can work with everything under the sun. So, power button right there at the front of the unit. We have 2 card readers, micro and standard full-size SD card slot, UHS 2 read and write speeds to my knowledge. And now, you know, clearly labeled, we have a USB 3.2, another USB 3.2, headphone microphone combo jack, as well as a 10 gigabit output there, or connectivity, I should say, in the form of a Type-C port. On the back, we have our power delivery Type-C port that is up to 100 watts for anyone that's trying to figure out if this will be enough. And this is designed for all you Mac users out there. That was part of the pitch from Xfanic, was that this is going to be ideal for Mac and PC users alike. We'll get all of this out of here. We have another Type-C port, you know, for the machine of choice that you're hooking this up to. And then we have a display port, 2 HDMI ports, but as you can see, one of these is HDMI 2.1, and that's where we're going to get that 8K 60 Hz, 4K 120. All of these are capable of a baseline. That means the minimum of 4K 60 for anyone that is wondering. And then our power input right there for the barrel pin connector that I showed you earlier that's going to go to the wall. And last but not least, our Ethernet port. So it pretty much has everything, but then the real beauty of this unit is that it can be expanded, at least to my knowledge. One of these sides, this is, you can see it's marked SSD right here, this should just pop off. And there, you can see we've got an NVMe slot, but again, by removing the rubber mod piece, if you will, you're going to adjust this to whatever size NVMe you plan to use. And this is part of what I really liked about this. Most solutions like this, Sabrent makes something that's great, but this is smaller and will only accommodate a single drive. The Sabrent is larger. I won't say more expensive, because at $339, Xfanic certainly is charging a pretty penny for this, but it's all about, essentially the fact that this is so flexible when it comes to the USB 4 capability. So you're not skimping on throughput, and on top of all of that, this is going to be extra complicated for me, but on top of all of that, you're also getting compatibility with pretty much all of your devices. So whether you're using, as I'm trying to get this little guy in there, and you know what, I think you're better off leaving it in there, which is what I should have done, and then dropping your drive in. So basically the advantage, I may have to go off camera here to get this, just because it's a bit of a reach for me, and for those of you who don't know, I've got some issues with my hand, really hands plural, as I try to pop this back in. But regardless, this poses a threat, I would say, to all the Thunderbolt docks I've covered in the past. Only if it works as expected. That took me a little more time than it should have to pop back in, but should be very easy to get this in. Again, I'm going to drop this 8 terabyte in there, and then really just pull this back so that I can, if I can, that is, without issue, or even turn it to its side. How about I do that, as I'm messing with this more than I'd like to, but now I have it in position, and if I can turn it, we're golden. If. That's a big if, because, I am a righty and I'm still struggling with not being to use my right hand as I used to. So it looks like it's going to hold it there. Now, keep in mind, this is an 8 terabyte drive. It's a little bit thicker. If I went with something smaller, we'd have a lower profile, but I will be testing that. That's a little more flex than I'd like to see. It should really be locking it in better than that. So I'll test it out, but that's the idea. 8 terabytes in a single hub that really can do everything and will work with just about any machine on the market, PC, Mac, it doesn't matter. And again, that's always been the biggest hang up with Thunderbolt, is that those docks are great, but they can't be used without Thunderbolt. USB 4 changes that, and that's why Xfanic was quick to try to produce this. But that pretty much rounds things out. I will report back on this, especially if all of you are interested. I'm interested, so here it is. Any questions or comments on this Xfanic 13-in-1 USB hub, feel free to post them. If you have any other questions, of course, feel free to post those as well. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.